Have you ever found saying that I'll do it later just to end up pushing it even further, endlessly? Do you often experience letting other people down because not being reliable? We've all been there, right? Screwing up deadlines, not finishing on time, not doing the project and scrambling on time when it's due. But what if I told you that your procrastination is more than a battle of time and discipline? It is a battle with your emotions. Let's dive in why the biggest hurdle of your life can actually be due to how you feel. So as you know, procrastination is a huge plague on the world. Everyone has been battling, everyone is talking about it, some people are joking about it, saying that this is a label that they put on themselves proudly, saying that procrastination is what actually describes them and what actually is them. But this is not strictly the case. Some people are actually better with dealing with procrastination than others, even though they have the same or even worse discipline. What's the case? Why that can be? So, to be honest, there is a huge uproar in the scientific community because people have finally found out and figured out due to tests that actually procrastination is more of an emotional concept than a discipline and productivity concept. There's a beautiful tweet from Abdaal and from one of his podcasts where he says that procrastination is an emotional feeling, where he says, "If I could only share one lesson with the world, it would be this. Procrastination is an emotional problem. You don't put things off because you're lazy, unmotivated, or lack discipline." Which is basically strictly the truth.
The reason why we procrastinate from things is because there's some sort of emotional blocker that has gotten in our way. There's some sort of internal resistance to the idea of doing the task, and underneath that resistance, there's always some kind of negative emotion. In my experience, that negative emotion almost always tends to be fear of some sort. But you might say fear and doubt, but I would say doubt is sort of a subset of fear, because when you have doubt, you have fear that you're not good enough to do the thing.
If you are feeling down, your emotions are down, you are not going to do things. And you might experience procrastination. And to be honest, no matter what you do, no matter what techniques you use for productivity, you will fail if your emotions are in shambles and you're not able to do them correctly. There are a range of different emotions: depression, rage, boredom, hunger, and others that are just painkillers for productivity, and as it follows, they increase the procrastination of your actions. If, for example, you're not doing something correctly, that can be basically due to you not being able to be in yourself and in your right feelings. That can actually boost your productivity and improve the way you work. The cycle of procrastination is very basic. There is a simple way for you to understand where you are exactly. If you have thought about the problem and you have not started it, you actually should be looking at your feelings instead of anything else. So there's also a bi-directional relationship where whenever you are feeling bored or angered, you are not doing the work and you so procrastinate. You finish the deadline or not on time, you let some people down, you basically don't do your work. That creates a bi-directional relationship with your procrastination because you feel bad, you also do less work, you procrastinate, you fail more deadlines, and you do less work in general. That's the reason that people are in the cyclical process of keep on failing. And that's why people say downward spiral, right? Because once you fail once, it's very easy to get that into the habit of being unproductive, being not correct with your working, and just being a bad person and a worker, right? Plus, on top of that, procrastination can be in life as well. The third thing is impact on emotional regulation. So once you procrastinate and you feel bad, you're actually not able to control your own feelings. And it actually spirals again down into being procrastinative and procrastinating more. The reason for it is that when the stakes are high, you are feeling a lot of pressure and a lot of things that you have to get this right, you have to do it. And that's the reason why some people actually fail to do anything whatsoever. Why? Well, because people are scared of what they will achieve once they do it, right? Sometimes people prevent their own success with procrastination, not because they don't want to succeed, but because they're scared what will happen, how they will change, and what their life will be once they succeed. That's basically one of the ways that people fail all the time. So for example, in academic and professional setting, people who are in science and trying to write papers and expand our knowledge of the universe, and sometimes even in psychology, they don't do the things they're supposed to just because they're scared of how it will impact their lives and every other person's life. They procrastinate because they're scared, and they're scared of what it will do. So let's, for example, look at the example of a teacher who usually postpones all of her lessons. As you can probably see, she also faces procrastination, not because she is a bad person. She is a medical graduate and she also has been doing medical work for a period of time. The reason she is postponing them because she is scared of how exactly to do the work correctly. That's the problem with not planning and not having a plan that make you procrastinate even more because you're not really sure how to do it and what the impact is, because you struggle to balance all parts of your life, and doing something out of your comfort zone is super hard and requires a lot of hard work and discipline because of procrastination and not being sure what exactly you're supposed to do. For example, one of the ways Mrs. Johansson has been able to deal with it is actually being consulted with other professionals who has done it, because they have struggled with the same issue and they have struggled with the same mindful problem of procrastination and they have dealt with it. There are techniques and there are ways to work with yourself and your mental state for you to overcome this and not procrastinate. The last part would be to see that procrastination is not all that bad. Sometimes our brain is telling us that procrastination is required here. We are not doing it out of spite, but our brain is not controlling us because it thinks we're bad or it's punishing us in some way. It just tells us to take it easy and to regulate what we're doing. Sometimes to procrastinate is not really to feel bad about it. You should really look at why you're procrastinating and go to the root of things. Sometimes you have to go through a lot of work in order to solve your procrastination issue, but once you do, psychologically and emotionally, you will be able to actually work better and more effectively and be able to improve yourself in the future without requiring so much discipline and hard work. So sometimes it's worth to work on your emotions before working on the thing that you actually need to do. Sometimes it's hard to understand and to push back everything, but some people are in a situation where this is required. I really encourage all of you here to actually check why you're procrastinating and see your emotional state. I would actually suggest to consult a professional about it just to see if the professional also thinks there is some work to be done. Because to be honest, in most of the cases, procrastination and you watching this video is probably not about you feeling undisciplined or being a bad person. Sometimes doing the wrong thing is not about what you do, but about how you did it and why you did it. So I just suggest you to reflect and come back, maybe tell me what exactly you've been putting off and why. As always, all the reference to the papers and ideas will be down below, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that we're all together gonna procrastinate a little less and deal with our emotions a little bit better, so we are more happy and more experienced and just in general productive in life. Subscribe, like, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, maybe try to look at why coding sucks.